What happens when a man loses everything, his family, his dignity, and his future, because of his own choices? This is the story of Daniel, a man who sank to the depths of addiction but found redemption through faith. Daniel grew up in a loving home. His parents worked hard, and though they didn't have much, they gave him the values of honesty, kindness, and perseverance. As a boy, he dreamed of becoming a teacher, someone who would inspire children the way his teachers once inspired him. But life took a different turn. In college, Daniel made friends who introduced him to drinking, then drugs. At first, it felt harmless, something to take away stress, something to make life a little more exciting. But what began as fun soon became a trap. Daniel's addiction grew slowly but surely. He began skipping classes. His grades dropped. His parents noticed the changes. But Daniel always had excuses. "I'm just tired," he would say. Years passed, and Daniel's life spiraled. He lost his chance at a degree. He bounced from one low-paying job to another, never able to hold on to anything for long. His family tried to help him, but his temper and lies pushed him away. When he married Claire, a kind woman who believed in him, Daniel promised a change. For a while, he tried, but addiction has a way of chaining a man. Soon, the lies, the anger, and the neglect returned. Claire wept many nights, praying for her husband to find his way back. But one day, she couldn't take it anymore. With their young son in her arms, she left. For Daniel, that was the breaking point. His small apartment became his prison. Bottles lined the floor. Days blurred into nights. He lost his job. His phone stopped ringing. Even his parents stopped visiting. One evening, Daniel looked in the mirror. His face was hollow, his eyes lifeless. He whispered to himself, "This is it. This is who I am now. A failure." But then something happened. Lying on the floor one night, surrounded by emptiness, Daniel heard a sound. It wasn't loud, but it pierced his heart. It was his son's voice echoing in his memory. "Daddy, please don't leave us." Tears streamed down Daniel's face. For the first time in years, he fell to his knees, not out of defeat, but out of desperation. He prayed, "God, if you can still hear me, please give me one more chance." That prayer marked the beginning of his journey. The road to recovery was not easy. Daniel checked himself into rehab. The first weeks were brutal. His body shook, his mind screamed, and many times he wanted to quit. But each time he remembered that prayer. He remembered his son's voice. And he pressed on. With time, faith began to fill the emptiness addiction had left behind. He joined support groups, found a mentor at church, and surrounded himself with people who believed in his healing. Months later, Daniel stood in front of a small congregation, sharing his testimony. His voice trembled as he said, "I lost everything because of my choices. But God gave me one last chance, and I'm never letting it go." Slowly, he rebuilt his life. He found steady work. He apologized to his parents, and with tears, they welcomed him back. The greatest moment came when Claire, still cautious but hopeful, brought their son to see him again. When the little boy ran into Daniel's arms, whispering, "Daddy, I miss you," Daniel knew his last chance had not been wasted. Today, Daniel works as a counselor, helping others trapped in addiction. His scars remain, but now they tell a story of victory, not defeat. Daniel's life is proof that no one is too far gone, and no mistake is too deep for God's grace to redeem. So if you are listening right now and you feel trapped in your own mistakes, remember this: you are not beyond saving. Faith can give you the strength to rise, and your story can still be rewritten. This was Daniel's story of faith, resilience, and victory. If his journey touched your heart, please like this video, subscribe, and share it with someone who needs encouragement today.